Well, recently, the President of the United States directed that the UAP files be disclosed and released. And so that's opened up a whole other uh, opportunity, for disclosure. And I want to bring up another quote from the transcripts from Ra.
Your governments are aware of our presence. They have been aware for many years. They do not want to disclose our presence to the people of your planet. It is important for the development of yourselves and your planet to be aware that we are here. We are many. I have been here before, many thousands of years ago, and you destroyed yourself then. And you are in a position now to do it again, and we will not allow it. So we will have the reveal with your help.
So let's talk a little bit about the reveal. You've talked about the Exo Conscious Human project, and I believe there was a petition. Was there a petition? The petition separate from there, or they have a planetary?
Yeah, they have a planetary constitution which outlines the sovereignty rights of humanity itself, what we require as we become intergalactical, as it were, speaking with the other species. And then I was asked to write a petition for the UN a while ago, and I wrote a petition. I didn't get many to sign it, but it was a request I was asked to do, so I did that. But now we have the citizens of Earth themselves making a move forward and reaching out, and the extraterrestrials are reaching out to many. Sue Walker was an example I gave, but I'm sure there are many more.
Yes, and you were talking about the Citizens for Disclosure, which is the grassroots activist arm of the New Paradigm Institute that Danny Sheehan is the president of. His life partner is Sarah Nelson, who is a big social justice advocate. She was in the NOW movement, National Association of Women, and helped Danny with a lot of different, nuclear waste issues, the 3 Mile Island. A lot of these big cases were brought by these two, and now their big task and issue right now is the reveal of the UAP from the government. So, talk to me more about Citizens for Disclosure and how you feel that all these different groups, you're in the Exo Conscious community, the Citizens for Disclosure group. You mentioned some others where all the experiencers and other people who are promoting this and want to be citizens of the planet asking for help, really, I guess, from our star family.
Yes, exactly. And I think another friend of mine, Costa McCrease, he has over 1 million friends on his website now that reach out to our star families using CE5 protocols. Over 1 million. He's had contact for many, many years. So he's another group that's reaching out through these citizens of Earth for the disclosure of the presence of our star families. So it's multi-pronged, is this assault, as it were. And I think it's been successful. I'm looking at it now from the point of view, when I started speaking out, there didn't seem to be many groups, but I speak to as many groups as I can. I join as many as I can, and I do as much as I can in relation to speaking about it. I know when Art asked me to speak out about my lifelong contact with him, I said, but no one will believe me. And he said, Kevin, it doesn't matter whether people believe you or not. What is important is that you tell your story. And I now realize that because by me speaking out, other people contact me and share their story. So that it's expanding our collective consciousness by talking about it, by speaking about it. I understand that. And when I look at all the different groups, and as I say, I try to follow as many as possible. And it's interesting that Melanie's in there. She's always at the forefront, it's Melanie. So it's I think it's, as I keep saying, exciting times ahead.
Absolutely. Of course, we're talking about the Council of Eight that you've been talking with, and other people apparently have also been communicating with them too, getting the same information. So that's validation. Another quote from the transcripts from Ra.
There are some extraterrestrials here who want to do you harm. They want to take over your planet. If you cross those particular extraterrestrials and you injure one of them, they will do you harm. We are the majority and we have 6 species on the Council of 8. We will do you no harm. We mean to increase your level of consciousness to assist in your evolution and development. That is why we are here.
Can you address a little bit about, the net? Because some people are very afraid, and there's been a big psyop against the ETs, by just even calling them alien. Dr. Stephen Greer, I followed him for a long, long time, and he says he likes to use the term ET or extraterrestrial as opposed to alien, because alien gives more of a negative connotation. And, the movies like War of the Worlds and these movies that are about alien invasions and attacks, it's a different, a negative concept of what's happening. So can you address that? What about these, I'm assuming that there are more good than bad, ETs out there, but what do you know about this?
Yes, I can address that to some degree. Yes, they want us to know that they are benevolent, or this particular group. They also want to know that, there are some evil ETs. Just like being on Earth, we've got very good humans and evil humans. I think it's always a part of consciousness itself. It's a balance. And when we're in balance with the good and the evil, everything's fine. If we get an outer balance, then that's where we get the problems that we create ourselves. So I don't think the extraterrestrials are any different from humanity itself. They've probably gone through the same evolution that we are still going through and continue to go through. But they want the planet to know that they are benevolent, because we tend to hear a fear factor, national security threat factor all the time. So we don't hear that benevolent side. I mean, there's another book going back to Ray Hernandez, which I read, called Beyond UFOs. And in there's a whole chapter on healings from our star families. And I had a healing of my own. I asked the Council of 8 to remove some melanoma I had overnight, and they removed them for me with no marks, no scars, no nothing. So they have technologies to help us live longer, healthier lives. They are willing to help. They are willing to share their technology to help clean up the pollution on our planet. They're still concerned about Fukushima, they tell me, in relation to the radioactive pollution. But again, they will share technologies. They tell me they've already cleaned it up to some degree, but with open contact and the reveal, and they will share their technologies and help clean up the radioactive pollution. So we need to get these messages out, the positive side of them, that they are here to. And I understand that people are fearful when it's an area that maybe they've been taught that extraterrestrials are demons, if there are any. Well, I can assure you the ones that I've met are not demons. I can share a quick story with you if you've got time, Lesley, in relation to I was traveling out of body, which is where we started the conversation, I think. And I was traveling just in our solar system, because I like to look at the planets, as I said, and the rings of the planets. And I'm coming back, and I materialized on a small craft. And the craft was transporting minerals from the Earth to the Moon. And piloting the craft were 2 grey beings. And they looked round at me and they said telepathically to one another, "What's he doing here?" And I realised I shouldn't be there. So I apologised and I left. I went back home. I went back to my body. I could see it sleep. I went into my body. I woke up and there was a tall grey stood there. He was like an aficionado, a military guy type or policeman type. And he warned me not to interfere. He said I shouldn't be there. And then he left. And then a reptilian appeared. And I'd never seen a reptilian before. And he was ambivalent to the human race. He didn't like us, I could tell that. But he was there because he was curious how a mere human could materialize on a craft, could understand telepathic communication, and could travel out of body. So that's why he was there. He didn't stay long, and then he left. But clearly, there are reptilians that I'm sure there are good reptilians as well. I heard a story of someone who was healed by a good reptilian. So again, there's the good and the bad. We have to understand that and then work our way through it, I suppose, as we do with our own lives here.
So Ort, he was asked about the reptilians in the transcripts. I have another quote from Ort.
They are an aggressive species. They do not abide by the rules of the Council of Eight. They exist among us, and we no longer have conflict with them. They come from the same place as one of a species of grey, and they too don't follow the rules of the Council of Eight. The reptilians sometimes work with this particular species of greys who do the abductions. They have been invited to join the Council of Eight, but they have no intention of doing so. But they are warmongers. They take what they want. We do try to put restrictions on them, and sometimes we can, but not always.
Tell me about, what are the rules that the Council of Eight follows?
Back then, they were already giving us this information, giving us the story of contact with us. And these transcripts that Kathleen Marden's done in their book, Forbidden Knowledge, are clearly quite important because they've got a lot of information there directly from the Council of Eight. So we've already got this communication going. I can ask them any questions. I do that on a regular basis for the exo-conscious community. We'll have a discussion about something. We don't have any answers. And I am asked to ask the Council of Eight. So we are already interacting with the Council of Eight. Humanity is already interacting with them. We are co-creating with them. We co-created the beacon, thanks to Nick and Edgar Mitchell and the exo-conscious community. So we are already moving forward. We just need to get the information out to the general population, the general public, not to be frightened that they are here. They are benevolent towards us. I'm sure there'll be those that will be supporting the threat narrative because it suits their agenda, but you really need to educate yourself in relation to what's going on, and then you can make your own judgment. You can use your discernment and choose which path you want to go down.
So if someone is listening to this and they're frightened by this idea of the harmful species, what would you tell them?
Don't be frightened. Reach out. Try reaching. I find the best time to reach out is when you're relaxed, when you go to bed at night. One of the easiest modalities of contact that they use is the dream state. And the dream state is just another frequency of consciousness, but it's a very safe way. So if you want to learn some more information, ask before you go to bed and see. But then you can always develop your own telepathic communication. And I learned that over a number of years. And it's a great way to communicate. The downfall is that most people, they don't trust the telepathic communication because they don't trust themselves. They can't decipher between their own inner chatter and the telepathic communication that comes through. But I've always asked for confirmation when I received that. I know on one occasion I received a download of the quantum unified field theory, of which I knew nothing about. And I said to the council, I said, look, you've just given me all this information about the quantum unified field theory. Can you show me a craft as confirmation it's come from you? And a craft appeared immediately. And then I went inside to get my wife. She came out. The second one appeared. 3, 4, 5, 7 in total. Flew silently over our heads, changed direction by about 80 degrees, and then disappeared sequentially as they had arrived. And then another occasion, I was given a download of the theory of everything again, which I knew nothing about. And I said, look, you just give me all this information in an instant. Can you show me a craft to confirm it's come from you? A craft appeared immediately and flashed 1, 2, 3 times. So I know that with my telepathic communication, I had a conversation when I was going down to Orlando to meet Melanie Barton that time. I was having a telepathic conversation like you would on the phone with your extended family here. So, but we all have those abilities. So reach out yourselves, ask, join a local group, join the C5, join Customer Crease, ET Let's Talk. It's all free to join. There's many things you don't have to pay for. Seek out those different groups. Seek out the Citizens for Disclosure. Huge amount of information in there now. Do your own research. Be confident. Don't be fearful. And if I can help in any way, you can always email me. I'm happy to help.
From the transcripts, again, I have another quote from Ort. He's talking about the reveal.
The reveal has 3 stages. The reveal is already happening. The first stage is to have an understanding of consciousness itself and to understand who you are as a species and to understand your higher self-consciousness, which we are a part of. So that is the first stage of the reveal. The second stage of the reveal is for you to have an understanding of the Council of Eight and the Council of Eight's position within this quadrant of your galaxy. They represent 6 species within the Galactic Federation, which manages the galaxy, shall we say. So when you have an understanding of consciousness itself and who you are, and the Council of Eight, then the third and final stage will be a physical reveal. This will happen to it will happen to small groups. It may or may not be global. It depends on governments, but the reveal is already here.
I know that Dr. Carrie McLeod, she's a member of the Exo Conscious community. She receives the same downloads verbatim from the Council of Eight that I receive. And I know that because we've had discussions about it. And it's interesting how they are guiding others in relation to, I see now that the reveal is happening. It wasn't what I was expecting. I thought they would all just turn up, over the Pentagon, the White House, or in Moscow somewhere, or China or whatever, or the major cities. But now it looks like the reveal is coming through, as it said there, through individuals and through groups. We've got an example of that now with the Exo Conscious community, all having contact with the Council of Eight, giving individuals information and then getting confirmation, like with Dr. Carrie McLeod, having exactly the same download verbatim that I've had. And she heard me talking about one once, and she was out jogging, and she just put her earphones on to listen to a podcast or something, and it just went to this particular channel, and I was talking about it, and she said, "That's exactly what I've heard. That's exactly the same download. Who is this Kevin Briggs?" And that's what she gets to find out who I am. And then it turns out, coincidentally, she used to work with Dr. Rebecca Hardcastle-Wright about 15 years ago. So she reached out to Rebecca. So she joined the Exo Conscious community. So someone is orchestrating all of this. And obviously I'm not privy to it, but I see the story, I see it unfolding, and I know that Gary's contact is tremendous. I'm sure there's a portal there with his house. He has groups there all the time that are having direct contact with our star family. So we've experienced that there again, Citizens for Disclosure. Melanie's there again. She was there. We're talking through the radios. I think it's just fascinating that now you're reading the old transcripts from years ago. That information that came through is relevant to what's happening today. So we can see that. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I have no idea. I just go with the flow. I'm just a messenger, Lesley. I just share the information that I'm given. And they give me it at the right time. That's the other key. If I need some information, they will give it to me.
I'm going to pull up a quote. This is from you, though. This is from the Volume 5 book of A Greater Reality. You say, "I am a citizen of Earth. I am requesting our star families reveal their presence globally for open contact and cultural exchange." So what does it mean psychologically to identify as a citizen of Earth?
Well, it means I'm concerned for humanity. I'm concerned for the future of humanity. I'm concerned for our future children. And I think it's important that we recognize that we are citizens of Earth. We are a small planet flying through the cosmos, and we have to protect our planet to protect our species. And at the moment, I don't think we are doing that. There are many working towards it, but we need a greater effort. And I think that the reveal itself will assist with that, will assist with the future of humanity. And I know that they've educated me in relation, as I said, to using consciousness as a conduit for communication, for travel, for healing, for education, for creation and co-creation. And I have examples of all of those in conjunction with the extraterrestrial star families. So I know that it's achievable. I know that it's possible. If I can do it, I'm just a normal, educated person. I'm nothing special or anything like that. So if I can do it, we can all do it by sharing who we are, that we are concerned about humanity, but we need to get this information to our people in positions of authority and power who can do something about it. But we seem to be in a bit of a turmoil at the moment, but they did tell me there will be the collapse of our societies before we can build new ones, co-create new ones together. So perhaps that chaos and collapse is an important part of our societal evolution, I would suspect. I don't know, I'm not a politician or anything, but I'm here to help and assist in the reveal itself. So, and that's what I'm doing by speaking out about it.
How would you suggest that viewers can participate responsibly while we're waiting for this reveal and preparing for contact?
Well, you can reach out to our local governments. In fact, I signed something the other day from Danny Sheehan. It comes through automatically, and I just had to fill in my name in and my email, and it went to my local government. I think so. I forget now what it was now, but it's having a voice, making an effort, do something, join the groups, join the Citizens for Disclosure, join the Exo Conscious community, join the Costa Macris, ET Let's Talk community. There are many out there. Join some of the spiritual communities. Karen Swain from Australia, I know her very well. Teach yourself about the spiritual side of who you are. Teach yourself about humanity's spiritual side. Our indigenous people are aware of that. They're aware of their galactic history. They're aware that they were seeded and planted here. And we've lost all that. So we need to regain it. So take part, participate, and speak out about it.
What you're saying in this quote is very interesting and relates very much to the whole concept behind Good Vibes TV about vibration and energy. You say in the volume 5, everything in the universe is energy, and energy vibrates at different rates. Each person has a unique vibration, which is the product of all of the influences he or she has ever encountered. The influence upon which we focus our attention or thoughts are those which determine or define our vibration. Can you expand on that?
Wow, did I say that?
You did.
Yes, it's true. When I look at it, I'm very fortunate in the respect that because of my education, I appreciate things more. I'll sit out under a couple of oak trees I have at the front of my property with my dogs, and I sit there and I think, all the trees, the plants, the trees, the animals, the insects, they all have consciousness. They're all part of my shared consciousness. I feel so privileged to be part of that, to sit there and enjoy it. And I think I'm at that position because I respect the plants, the trees, the animals, the other human beings that are here. We are all important, and we're all sharing at this moment in time a shared consciousness. And once we understand the creation and co-creation side of consciousness, then it makes us much happier. I know some people have some terrible lives here, but we can help. We can help raise the vibrational frequency of consciousness of the whole planet. The planet itself is consciousness. It has frequencies of energy. So, and we can tap into those frequencies. The sun has frequencies of energy as well. So we are all a sea of consciousness, of conscious vibrational frequencies. But once you accept that and understand it, we raise that frequency and become happier in ourselves.
The slogan for my show is raise your vibe and thrive.
Oh, I like that.
Well, thank you, Kevin, so much for this interview. What are the best ways that people can reach you?
Yeah, just send me an email. It's just my name, kevinjamesbriggs@gmail.com. I do have a website. I don't put much on it, but that's kevinjbriggs.com. And if you go onto events and media, there's some other interviews, and there's a couple of channels I did on there. Sign up for the website, and then I'll email you some more information. And then I'm open to emails anytime.
Well, Kevin, do you have any last parting words? I know we've shared so much here.
I've enjoyed chatting today, and I should really just be thanking you for inviting me on your show. It gives me pleasure to speak about it, and hopefully, what I do find, Lesley, is that the people that need to hear the information will watch this, and that's the key. It might only be one person or two people, but if we're all on the same journey, I think we're at different stages. And if I can assist with anybody, helping them along in that journey, then I will. And because mine's been extensive and I've had the extra help of the Council of 8 and Alton D, I'm able to answer questions for people on their own journey and help them move forward. So yeah, I'm open to helping anybody if I can.
Thank you again, Kevin. Appreciate it, and look forward to communicating with our star family together and co-creating a beautiful world.
I hope we will. I'm sure we will. It's down to us to do it, the citizens of Earth, to do this, to make it happen.
Whether we interpret the Council of 8, Watchers, or the 3-stage reveal, literally or metaphorically, the lesson is the same. Humanity's evolution is in our hands. Raising consciousness, understanding ourselves, and making conscious choices every day, that is the true reveal. I am a citizen of Earth is more than just a statement. It's a commitment to planetary unity, awareness, and personal responsibility. Every thought, every intention, every act of love and service is part of this journey. The universe is inviting us to step into our own power. That is the ultimate good vibe. The rest, the councils, the dimensions, the star families, they're here to guide. But the work, the vibration, the growth, that is ours. And that's a message we can all live by. Peace out, everyone.